What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while, like 4 or 5 months since I last uploaded here. Just wanted to hop on and do a quick kind of channel update and then talk very briefly about some playoff predictions. So as far as the channel stuff goes, I changed the name from Hockey Time to Tender37, which has been my Xbox gamer tag since I was in, I think, middle school. Reason for me doing that is I felt a little bit restricted, and obviously this is more in my own head than anything else about what I could upload. Obviously, with the name of the channel being Hockey Time, it was always going to be hockey focused, which is fine. That's what I wanted it to be. Um, but I wanted to give myself, again, kind of the ability to feel like I wasn't restricted with what I could upload. And obviously, I never was. It's my YouTube channel. I can upload whatever I wanted to. But changing the name just kind of like mentally for me releases this block of like, I can upload whatever I want, right? If I want to upload some NHL 25 content, if I want to upload League of Legends content, if I want to upload like book reviews for what I am reading, something just way off of my regular hockey content. For me, it just gives me the ability to feel like I can do that a little more freely. So that's the reason for the channel rebrand, if you want to call it that. And as far as the break goes, kind of just like life got busy. I got married. Um, there was a lot of stuff going on with my job. There was a lot of travel for the holidays and stuff. So never really felt like I was able to settle in and upload regularly. And I didn't want to force it. If I wasn't going to enjoy uploading and editing the content, I didn't want to force myself through that just to kind of have it up. So the goal is to continue with the power rankings through the end of the year. And then we'll continue that again starting at the beginning of next regular season too. And then I'm kind of just going to play it by ear and see what else I want to upload. And when I want to upload it, I'll do that. If you guys have ideas for content, obviously leave that in the comments below. If there's stuff you guys really want to see, happy to accommodate that. But yeah, for now, the goal is just to make it feel a little more free flowing for me, if that makes sense. Yeah, jumping into the hockey content. Again, just wanted to kind of touch on who I think is going to make the playoffs now that we're through the Four Nations tournament. And I'll briefly touch on the tournament itself. I mean, the NHL could not have asked for a better event to replace the All-Star game. I mean, I think it blew that out of the water. There's no question about that. But I also don't think the league anticipated just how good and how kind of heavy that event was going to be. I think going into it, everyone knew it was going to be fun and it was going to be nice to see best on best hockey again. But I don't think the league was predicting it to be this like big, important, monumental thing where you're, obviously putting at least right now, the two best hockey countries in the world against each other, but also from a standpoint of things that reached far beyond hockey. Obviously, you have the president of the U.S. Calling the team the morning of the game to, wish them well, and then you have Justin Trudeau tweeting out after the game, after, perfect storybook ending, Connor McDavid scoring the game-winning goal in overtime, getting left open by his kind of like, I don't know if you want to call it like arch nemesis because the Oilers and Leafs aren't really rivals like that, but Austin Matthews, his counterpart in the East, leaving him wide open. He scores the overtime winner. Canada wins. A great ending to an event as far as the league's concerned. Obviously, there's some teams that are not happy to see injured players, looking especially at a team like Boston with Charlie McAvoy, but injuries aside, I think it ended up being a fantastic event, and it definitely is going to leave fans very anxious and excited for the Olympics in 2026. So, tournament aside, we have 25 or so games to go until the playoffs. So, I wanted to talk about who I think is going to find a way to jump into the playoffs, who's going to fall out. And frankly, if I'm being totally transparent, there's not a ton of changes from where the standings are now. And I'll upload a picture of the standings as they stand currently somewhere above my head. But yeah, couple changes that I have, and I'm just going to run through those quickly. We'll go division by division, just 1 through 8. I'll talk about who's in and who's out, and then I'll move you guys along with your day. So, in the Atlantic, I have Toronto, Florida, Tampa, and Ottawa above the line, and then Detroit, Boston, Montreal, and Buffalo below it. I actually do have 4 teams from each division making it in. That's not really intentional. I just think looking at the teams and what they have put together, I think that's the way things are going to shake out. In the Metro, it's Washington, New Jersey, Carolina, and New York. And then as far as matchups go, with my predictions here, we would have Washington against Ottawa, Toronto against the Rangers, and then Florida, Tampa, and New Jersey, Carolina. Obviously, those last 2 matchups, the Battle of Florida and New Jersey, Carolina, those are 2 teams that are not at all unfamiliar with each other. And I think those would both be fantastic series. Toronto, New York would be interesting. There's a lot of firepower in that one. And then Washington, Ottawa, I actually don't think as good as Washington's been this year, that they have a lot of really favorable matchups in the playoffs. But if it shakes out that they get Ottawa, I think Caps fans, myself included, would be pretty happy that that was their first round matchup. And then as far as, who my favorites from the East are going to be, I'm not going to predict a full bracket right now, but it's still really hard to look away from the Panthers and the Rangers. I know that's not the sexiest answer, but both those teams very much built for playoff hockey. Both have really good goaltending when they're on their game, especially. And yeah, just hard to see people getting through the Rangers or the Panthers all that easily. Moving over to the Western Conference, I'll go for the Central first, I guess. Winnipeg, Dallas, Colorado, and Minnesota all above the line, and then Utah, St. Louis, Nashville, surprisingly, and Chicago below it. Shouldn't say surprisingly. It's pretty apparent that unless they go on a miracle 2019 St. Louis Blues run, they're not making the playoffs. But surprising as far as what they built up before the season in the summer, and now they just have struggled so badly. And then in the Pacific, Edmonton, Vegas, LA, Vancouver, Calgary, Anaheim, Seattle, San Jose. I have no changes from the Pacific the way it stands today, which is not exciting at all, but I think Edmonton is kind of the clear favorite to win this division. I don't think LA is going to end up keeping up with Vegas, and Vancouver is just so far back right now. I guess not so far back. They're only a couple points back of Los Angeles, but they just don't feel like a divisional team at the moment. I mean, the Demko can't stay healthy. They obviously sent away JT Miller. To be seen how well Filipino really meshes with this team. So a lot to be seen there. As far as matchups go, it would be Winnipeg, Vancouver, which, if he can stay healthy, would give us a great goalie matchup between Thatcher Demko and Connor Hellebuck. And then you'd have Edmonton, Minnesota, Dallas, Colorado again, which is always good. And then LA finally escapes the clutches of Edmonton in the first round, and instead they get Vegas, which is a better matchup for them, I think, but I still don't think they would win it. So good matchups there in the West. As far as favorites go, it's so hard to look past Edmonton and Dallas as like the two runaway favorites. Obviously, Colorado is still going to be in the mix. Vegas, despite all their offseason changes, would also, I think, still be in the mix. So it'd be really interesting to see who, if anyone, can come out of the West on top of Edmonton. But I think, unlike the East, Edmonton is really the clear-cut favorite in the West, despite how well a team like Winnipeg has been playing, right? But yeah, that's kind of where my prediction stands right now. Obviously, when the playoffs come around, I'll do a full bracket prediction, and we'll go through that in a little bit more depth. But just wanted to give a quick something here now that we're through the tournament and into the final stretch of the regular season. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you don't mind. It is free. And yeah, let me know if there's specific content you guys want to see me upload. I think as far as planned stuff, the only other big thing I have kind of set is I will be doing a stream, probably on YouTube and on Twitch, for the trade deadline. I'm curious to see how many moves are left by that time, because the Four Nation tournament definitely put a wrench in things a little bit, but I do plan on streaming that day. I'll probably be playing NHL 25 and talking about the moves as they happen, so that'll be fun. Tune in for that if you can. And yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in. It's good to be back, and we'll talk to you in the next one.